The king who no longer slept. There was a time, in the most prosperous land of the southern continent, where a kingdom called Atheron stood, wealthy, glorious, and quietly dying. Not from war, not from famine, but from a king. So lazy, his throne began to rust under the weight of his indifference. They called him the king of three things: eating, sleeping, and complaining. From sunrise to sunset, not a single decree was made. No visits to the people, no meetings with the court. The grand palace grew silent, echoing only with the snores of a man who once ruled. Outside the palace walls, however, the kingdom groaned. Fields lay abandoned. Markets turned into ghost towns. The people murmured, "We don't need a crown that sleeps." An old farmer spat by his fire. The ministers were divided. Some whispered of leaving, others plotted betrayal. And the king? He remained there, swollen, still, until one day. The laughter of enemies reached the throne. "Atheron," scoffed a merchant from the north. "That place is filled with fat and salt, no blood left for battle." When these words reached the king, he didn't laugh. He didn't yell. For the first time in years, he couldn't sleep. That night the king sat up. His hands trembled, his eyes hollow. He stared into a bronze mirror and didn't see a king. He saw a stranger, a crown on a corpse. He summoned healers, alchemists, mages from across the lands. "Whoever saves this body shall be rewarded for life," he cried. Potions were poured, herbs were brewed. But the more he drank, the weaker he became. The more he hoped, the more he broke. Then, a frail figure arrived at the gates. An old hermit with a beard to his belly and fire in his eyes. He leaned on a wooden staff and declared, "I did not come to serve the crown. If the king truly wishes to be saved, he must come to me." "Insolence! Do you know who you speak to?" The guards roared. "I speak to a man, not a throne." When the king heard this, fury swelled, but something cracked inside him, something long buried, dignity, pride. So he made a decision. He stepped down from the throne, not onto a carriage, not into a litter, but onto his own legs, numb and weak. He walked. On the first day, he collapsed halfway. The second day, he crawled to the village gate. On the fifth day, he reached the hermit's hut, but it was empty. "Come back tomorrow," said a note. And so he did, again and again. 10 days, 20 days, a month. Each time the hermit would say, "Not yet, you're not ready." Then came a morning of soft rain. The king knocked once more, but this time, no panting, no rage. The hermit smiled. "Now you are ready." He handed the king a simple wooden cup. "Drink. This is your cure." The king sipped, puzzled. "What is this?" The hermit looked him in the eye. "Water, and a month of effort." There is no magic for a soul unwilling to move, but one who learns to rise needs no potion. The king stood silent. Rain mixed with tears. For the first time, he understood. The only thing that ever stopped him was himself. Since that day, Atheron was never the same. Gone was the king of three things. In his place, a ruler of discipline, of hope, of rebirth. And when citizens saw the palace lights still burning after midnight, they would whisper, "He is still working. He no longer sleeps. He is leading us to the future." We often wait for miracles, for someone, something to rescue us from stagnation, pain, or failure. We blame circumstances, people, fate. But like the king in our story, we forget one simple truth. No one can live your life for you. No one can walk the path you refuse to take. No potion can cure laziness. No spell can replace discipline. What saved the king wasn't the water, not the hermit, but every painful step he forced himself to take. Every fall, every rise. That journey, raw and real, transformed him. And you? You may feel trapped in a dead-end job, a broken relationship, a tired body, a weary soul. But miracles don't come from outside. They begin the moment you move. There are no born warriors, only those who refuse to stay down. No small action matters without persistence, and no great victory exists without one who dared to stand from their own defeat. Life is a mountain. You may not see the peak, but every bead of sweat, every push upward, brings you closer to the person you were meant to become. Don't wait for rescue. Be the hero of your own story. There are no born warriors, only those who refuse to stay down. No small action matters without persistence, and no great victory exists without one who dared to stand from their own defeat. Life is a mountain. You may not see the peak, but every bead of sweat, every push upward, brings you closer to the person you were meant to become. Don't wait for rescue. Be the hero of your own story.
If this story touched your heart, share it with someone who needs a nudge to rise again. And if you want more heartfelt, transformative stories, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell. Thank you for listening. We'll meet again in the next story.